Yes. So we got Ron Killings, No More Truth. That's the truth. Hold nothing but the truth. Yeah. Anyway, he did enough punch with his name. I was like, look, we done got out of the way. I was like, it was a surprising moment. I was like, I don't believe it was a work. They'll work it as a work. That's a lot of works in there. Work. Feel like Rihanna. Yeah. I'm really wanting to talk about pretty much what they need to do from here on out with R-Truth to Ron Killings. I was like, it feels. I was like, I was like, cause I was like, Ron is a really like smart guy. I was like, yeah, I don't think you do that many type of comedy things and stuff. Like I think a lot of people don't see it that way, but I think the way, the ability to make people laugh no matter who it is from all different walks of life, ages, different like don't I was like, to me that takes a level of being smart and whatnot. So I was like, I think Ron Killen will find out a way to basically, if they let him do his character the way it needs to be done. Because I do think that it'd be a cool analysis of what made Ron Killings cut off R-Truth. You know, I was like, is he ever going to like be like in a segment of like, you know, where he's like, like that, like getting released, change his mindset, that everything will be over? Is it John Cena that, you know, hit him with the belt? That sort of like, I was like, what is it? Like, you know, like the thing where it's like you know, like you get into, I was like, where like you hit yourself. I mean, like you get into like a really bad like situation with your head, amnesia, then on the hard hit, put it back. You know what I'm talking about. Where it's like, did that change him? Because like his character is basically what you've seen if you watch any of his old TNA stuff. I was like, sort of when he first started his feuding with John Cena before he came the comical character. And while everybody was over here dogging and stuff like that out, and I was like, it's funny because John Cena and I think Ron was, I'm gonna keep on R-Truth, basically had points where it's like R-Truth basically like your voice is heard, and then John Cena, like, you think this really matter, you think that you really got any power, and they're both right. Because R-Truth wouldn't have been back if it wasn't for the backlash from all the people. But I think John Cena's also right of, don't get this twisted that this happened. This was sort of a one-off thing. I think also the past of, you don't want there to be a CM Punk situation where it's like for years and years and years. I know I was going to talk about what I want to do with Ron, but I was like, I also got to get this tangent out of of explaining the Ron's R-Truth thing. Is that for years and years and years, people were saying CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. Now also think about when that also was really happening too. It was also really happening at, like, when it got to like some of the biggest points of it was also during WWE's creative struggles, their sort of downturn. I was like, you could talk about the money that they're getting and stuff like that, and this is sort of my argument with people, that money doesn't always equate to the quality, or is a good argument to have. Because there's a lot of things, I was like, just because it's $1 billion movie don't mean that movie was necessarily good. That, I was like, there's a different factor that you can also breed into this. So if you've had years and years and years of the CM Punk thing, R-Truth thing comes about, and you start to feel like, wait, how real is this? Well, we had on 3 shows that this was, I was like, that this got pretty, I was like, you had Raw, you had SmackDown, I was like, then you have, I was like, was that, I was like, could have swore there was like 3 in between there. I was like, maybe I'm wrong. Either way, you had enough shows that his name took over. The internet, it took over. It was the topic of a lot of people's videos and stuff like that. You don't want this to create a situation that, instead of the what chant, that while it's annoying, you can sort of get by with it, that anytime any of the superstars are out, you hear an R-Truth name. R-Truth. So, hey, WWE's like, hey, let's nip this in the bud. Let's go ahead and sign them. Let's get ahead of this before anything. It's almost like your kid is having a tantrum. Not being bad, but just having a little bit of a tantrum. And it's like, you don't want to reward them by just like giving them what they want, but you do something to pacify them or get their attention off of things. And guess what? That's what WWE did. Also, you got to think that I said like just like WWE when CM Punk stuff was going down, it was sort of the creative downturn and all this other stuff. And I was like, guess what WWE has kind of really been on for the last couple months? A little bit where people are like kind of like, all right, oh, this ain't that good as I thought it was a while back. Oh, Triple H, you ain't looking so good in this light. I don't know, these stories are okay. The John Cena thing ain't really hitting for me. I was like, all right, what's going over here? Man, y'all just keep releasing people. Man, ticket prices are really high. Are you telling me y'all moving to WrestleMania again? I was like, that seemed kind of shady. Let's get R-Truth back. Sort of shut people up for a good long time. I was like, ooh, okay, that's a bad play. I was like, shh. Hey, here's a cookie. Not dessert, but here's a cookie. Like, I was like, that's all it was with R-Truth. And I was like, on one hand, I was like, I'm glad that he's back. I was like, I am glad that they did respond in a way of putting him, I was like, bringing him back, of like sort of at least doing enough listening or whatever, even if it is just to quell down the people. But John Cena's right, because it's like, guess what? It ain't like if everybody was like, Carlito, that I was like, I don't think he would show up. I was like, I don't think it's like it would be over. Maybe they bring back something later on. But I was like, Carlito R-Truth? No. But I was like, that's where I was like, you want to say with the power you got? Try to see if you get Carlito back. I was like, and they're not going to do that. So John Cena was right in that. I was like, in that regard. Now, as far as Ron Killings himself, as far as I said, I was like, he should try to explain some way of like, oh man, like I'm a different guy now, or it's like I kind of realization. Now the thing is, he's 53, and a lot of people online was like, oh, he's 53, he's done, all this other stuff. Why? I was like, he can still go in the ring. He's in top shape. I was like, I think he's not like a John Cena, I was like body, type of thing. I think CM Punk can still go, but CM Punk was never like athletic enough. I mean, like in that type of way. So it doesn't really. So his style of game is different. So to me, what is really next for R-Truth? Because I was like, he's not gonna be the comedy character no more. I don't believe that he is, or whatever. How serious is he gonna be? How serious can you take that? I was like, how long? Like, we also know that he got brought back, but we don't actually know how long he's back for. I was like, hell, for all we know, they could just do something. And this sort of my thinking that if you was going to end up getting rid of R-Truth, I felt like they should have had his come to the end at the same time John Cena comes to the end. You could have had them tied together the whole time, from the time that match happened to the time like throughout, where he is just like either trying to get through John Cena's head, trying to help other people backstage understand John Cena, trying to turn John Cena back to good guy or whatever, or just keep getting in John Cena's way. I feel like you could have did so much of this stuff with R-Truth, and that's like at the end of the year where John Cena became a good guy. And look, they still might be they might do this of just, maybe in a different way, but at the end of John Cena, I was like, maybe he loses the title before then or whatever like that. You could have him in the last match against R-Truth, and then basically they both go out. Where just like, he's like, man, my childhood hero's gone, and you know what? I think he showed me the right way of going out. And then he could have just ended it right there. But that's not what we're gonna get. We're gonna get hard ass R-Truth. And I'm just like, I will say that I will think that R-Truth is going to be in a World Heavyweight Championship match this year. Now, he'll win it. He won't win it. But I think that he will get into it. I could totally see something where it's just like Seth is over here trying to crack it up with Ron and joke, and this Ron is just like, I don't play that shit no more. And then just kind of just dart off. I was like, to me, that should be the height of this. At some point, he gets a championship match. Once again, to make everything good with the crowd of people. Just like R-Truth is not winning, but it makes everyone single y'all feel good. And guess what? A lot of these corporations do. They don't ever do the right thing. They just do the thing enough to make y'all shut the hell up. Make sure that y'all take a little bit of dose of that NyQuil so that you stay asleep in a lot of situations. Bars. Look, but realistically, R-Truth, I was like R-Truth, Ron Killings. I think he's gonna get probably his story, however long that is that he's here or whatever. And I think that he's just going to have matches and just be on TV in competitive ways, and he might just be the voice of reason without the funny stick to a whole bunch of people. I think that's what his floor is really going to be. I'm not going to act like we're going to get anything serious out of this. I don't think we're going to. Yeah, I was like, I think will he get like a mid card? Let's see. He ain't beating no Jacob Fatu, who got the Intercontinental Championship right now. Man, that's the problem that I'm over here and I'm like, who got the Intercontinental Championship on Raw? I was like, we're doing this in real time, not cutting this out at all. I know somebody might be screaming at the video right now, telling me who it is or whatnot. Man, I am drawing a blank. Yep, it is Dom Mysterio. Man, that is bad that I did not have I was like, I could not pull that out of mid-keister. Look, yeah, that that could work against a dominant Mysterio, but he got a whole thing right now. Oh man, they bring him back to do a Judgment Day, but except for he's not funny no more. Even though Damian Priest is not there and all that stuff, but he's not funny guy no more. Maybe that's what it is. His storyline needs to be going against all the people that just seen him as a joke throughout the whole time. I don't care if it's good or bad. They're not going to do it just because I think Truth is too much of the good guy, even though he's going to be serious, to go after maybe even some of the people that are, like, beloved. But you think about it, some of the beloved people aren't above getting their ass beat. You know, it ain't like he's going to, like, beat up Cody or beat up Jay or anything like that. I was like, so I don't know. I was like, whole thing is that wasn't a work. It was just enough to shut y'all up. Ceiling, World Heavyweight Championship match. The floor, getting his story off of rehabilitation from his crazy jokey spell. And just showing that he could be a serious character, I believe. And then at some point, just whisk away. Anyway, what do you think Ron Killings should do? What do you think he do? Should he be in a world championship match? I was like, or should he continue and be in this whole thing with John Cena throughout? Or I was like, hey, he does his own thing. I was like, he trying to piece himself back together, and that's pretty much the end of it. Let me know what y'all all think. Until then, I was like, the whole truth and nothing but R-Truth. Peace out.